People are overlooking the Green Bay Packers heading into this year. Let's get into it. The Green Bay Packers traded Aaron Rodgers for the Jets this year and are turning the tide and turning the chapter into former first-round pick Jordan Love. And with the trading of a future first-ballot Hall of Famer, a lot of people are overlooking what the Packers actually have on their roster this year and what they can do this year. Jordan Love, in the very little time that he has gotten to play, has shown the arm talent that made him a first-round pick at Utah State. And even after the coming in last year, Darius Slay, after the game against the Philadelphia Eagles, said that he's seen very few players have that type of arm strength and very few footballs have that type of velocity on them. And it's not like the Packers don't have any weapons either, as they have speedster Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs in that receiver room. And specifically Christian Watson, who is your prototypical receiver, speed. We're still working on the route running, but just very long and can make any play. We've seen it in Phillies. He took a drag route to the house. He's run over the top on defenses before, so he's really the total package at the receiver position. And then you got Romeo Doubs, who quickly became a target for Aaron Rodgers and just is a guy that's made plays. You have Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, two very young receivers, but two very skillful receivers and guys that can grow with Jordan Love. And Jordan Love has sat behind Aaron Rodgers, so he has seen what a future first Hall of Famer looks like and knows how to run the offense and how to run this organization. And with him being in the system for years, he knows the system, so there won't be any learning curves there. And then I feel like everyone is forgetting Aaron Jones as well. While this is probably his last year in Green Bay, Aaron Jones is still arguably a top 8 running back, can catch the ball out of the backfield, can run it. And also behind him, you have A.J. Dillon, who's just a power back. But specifically on Aaron Jones, I feel like he get to be in store for a big year under Jordan Love, who will be his security blanket down low. And it's not like the Packers want to ask Jordan Love to throw the ball 35 to 40 times a game, as they will rely heavy on their 2 running backs. And A.J. Dillon's a do-it-all back. He's been used as a lead blocker out of the backfield, and he's mainly been used as a third-down back as well, and a power back, goal line back. But he's really started to grow in the pass-catching game, as that's never been a strong suit for him, but he's starting to show the ability to do that out of the backfield. So Green Bay has a real nice double-headed monster out of the backfield for Jordan Love. And the Packers spent 2 picks this year on Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, 2 tight ends. And Luke Musgrave is super talented, and so is Tucker Kraft. And if they both develop, the Packers will have 2 nice tight ends as well. The Packers' offense isn't going to be your typical Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre offense, but I expect some explosiveness and, like I said, for them to control the clock with the run game and be very methodical and trust in their defenses to get stops as well. And that's another part of this football team that is being overlooked. Jair Alexander, since coming to the league, has been in the top corner conversation, and that's for good reason. Jair Alexander is the number 1 corner in the NFC North, arguably the NFC, and an argument for the NFL. Jair Alexander is one of those corners that you can put on the other team's number 1 receiver and not worry about having to help him. He can lock up anyone in the sport and continues to make plays for this defense. And while Rodgers and this offense and offenses get the headlines, defenses is what wins you championships, and Jair Alexander is one of the very best DBs in the sport. The Packers also have Rashawn Gary, who's another underrated player on this defense. And he's just a guy that can get to the quarterback and continue to make plays, and he's been a playmaker since getting drafted out of Michigan for this Packers organization. And Preston Smith is just a reliable vet. You know what you're going to get every year, 8 to 9 sacks with some disruptive plays as well. And it's just all you can ask for in a player of Preston Smith's caliber. He's very good, very overlooked, and another reason why I think the Packers are poised for a good season this year. And Quay Walker. Quay Walker is very talented and a very good player, but he just makes some boneheaded decisions. A lot of people know Quay Walker because of him pushing the trainer last season, but just strictly on the football field, Quay Walker is a very good player and was a first-round pick for a reason. He was a key player on Georgia's first national championship under Kirby Smart, and he was a key player last year for the Packers, quickly becoming one of their more dependable defensive players at the linebacker position and can make any play and any tackle possible. He just needs to get out of his own way on the football field and just stop making some of those boneheaded decisions that he makes. And on that defensive line as well, you also have Kenny Clark, who knows going to stop the run and get to the quarterback as well. And he's just a reliable, dependable vet for this Packers defense and has been since coming into the league. And in that secondary, alongside Jair Alexander, you got Rasul Douglas and Darnell Savage. And they really are what makes the Packers' defensive room go. They help Jair Alexander, and they can make plays on their own as well. Darnell Savage is known for his hits. And Douglas is just a solid corner and just somebody that you can depend on to take the other team's number 2 and number 3 wide receivers. Sitting behind Rodgers, I think, was the best thing for Jordan Love, as he was super raw coming out. And we're going to see this year why the Packers decided to move on and let Jordan Love play. I think Jordan Love is going to shock a lot of people, and so I think the Packers are going to shock a lot of people this year. In my opinion, the Packers will be playing important football down the stretch in December, and I don't think that they will be competing for a wild card spot. I ultimately think the Packers win the NFC North and take back their crown. I could see the Vikings taking a step back, and I am a believer of the Lions as well, as I think this division comes down to the Packers and the Lions, and I think the Lions ultimately end up with a wild card, and the Packers ultimately end up taking the division, because Jordan Love is going to show why the Packers moved on. And as I've stated earlier in this video, you have Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, the draft picks of Tucker Kraft, and Luke Musgrave. And you also have Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs in that receiving room. And it's going to take the Packers into another successful era under Jordan Love. Thank you for watching. As always, please leave a like and subscribe. And let me know down below, do you think the Packers win the NFC North, make the wild card, or just miss the playoffs completely?